That night on European television, the audience sitting in front of the screen could not have imagined that they were about to witness one of the most honest moments in showbiz history. Caitriona Balfe, the lead actress of the hit series Outlander, appeared in an elegant black dress, her hair loose, her eyes calm, and her hands clasped together as if to maintain a fragile calm. The host, a veteran of the media industry, opened with a subtle warning. What is about to be revealed has never been published before. Be mentally prepared. As the lights in the studio brightened, Caitriona smiled slightly. But that smile quickly faded when the question was asked. What is the real relationship between you and Sam Hugan? She took a deep breath, her voice trembling slightly. I never wanted to say this in public, but maybe it's time to be honest. Not just for me, but for Sam. The studio fell silent. She continued, for years people saw us as the perfect couple, both on screen and off. They created stories, expectations, even dreams that Sam and I were meant to be together. But the truth is not that simple. Within seconds, social media exploded. Thousands of tweets followed. What is Caitriona talking about? Aren't they a couple? It's all a lie. Looking straight into the camera, Caitriona continued, I love Sam in a very special way, but not the way you think. It's not romantic love. It's a complicated, deep, and, to be honest, dark. The host frowned. Gloomy. Caitriona nodded. Because it's associated with loss, with pain, and with secrets that we've kept hidden for years. She began to tell a story that no one had ever heard before. A story that took place in 2017 when Outlander was at its peak. At that time, Sam was in a very serious mental state. Part of it was due to the pressure from the media, but mostly because of their ambiguous relationship. They had always tried to maintain a boundary between work and personal life, but then that line began to blur. One time Sam said to me, if it weren't for you, I would be completely lost. Caitriona choked up. And that's when I understood he didn't love me as a lover. He was dependent on me, mentally, existentially. There was a pause. Caitriona picked up her glass of water and took a small sip. Then she looked straight into the camera, her eyes cold. I never said this. But Sam locked himself in his apartment for 3 days, didn't eat, didn't sleep, didn't answer anyone. I had to break down the door, and what I saw inside, she paused and the audience almost held its breath, was a completely broken Sam Hugan. After that incident, Caitriona decided to temporarily withdraw from the set to be with Sam, helping him recover both physically and mentally. She even cancelled many big projects just to save a friend. A love, but not a fairy tale, but a love full of pain, full of torment. And she still chose to stay. The story seemed to stop there, but Caitriona continued to reveal a chilling detail. After a long period of therapy, Sam wrote me a letter. In it, he said, if I wasn't there, he wouldn't have lived long enough to continue filming Outlander. He was prepared for a different ending. Social media was once again shaken. Fans cried, some were angry, some just silently prayed for Sam and thanked Caitriona for speaking the truth. When asked, so what is your relationship now? Caitriona replied simply, we're not in love like everyone wants us to be. But Sam will always be a part of my soul. We're closer than blood. The host concluded, perhaps eternal love doesn't have to be romantic love. That night, the two hashtags bars, thank you Caitriona, and pray for Sam quickly climbed to the top one trending worldwide. One notable comment summed it all up. We dreamed of a fairy tale, but it turns out they lived a real life, more touching than a fairy tale. The reporter in front of her was momentarily stunned, as if she couldn't believe what she had just heard. But Caitriona Balfe continued. Her voice was choked with emotion and determination. We kept it from everyone, the public, even our closest friends in the industry. Not because we were ashamed, but because there were things that, if made public, would ruin everything. She looked far away, returning to the first days on the set of Outlander. At first, it was just a synchronicity in acting a shared passion for art. But then, that feeling went beyond imagination. We never left each other's side. Even when the camera was off, I still saw Sam in my mind. And I knew he did too. So why did they keep it a secret for more than a decade? Why did they choose to reveal it now? Caitriona quietly pulled an old black and white photo from her bag. In the photo, she and Sam are backstage in season 2 of Outlander. No acting, no posing, just looking at each other. Eyes deeper than any scene on screen. I always carry this photo with me. It reminds me, love can be beautiful, but it can also be fragile. She admits that fame, crazy schedules and pressure from viewers, who always wanted them to be real-life Jamie and Claire, prevented their relationship from blossoming. They were forced to choose either their careers or their hearts, and they chose their careers. I was married. Sam dated. But in my heart, there was always a part of him. Caitriona confided that there was a time when they wanted to make things public. Sam even proposed. But as soon as the news leaked out, the studio immediately intervened. They were afraid that the sex scandal would ruin the character's image and affect global sales. So, we had to keep quiet, not because we wanted to, but because we had no choice. Her voice suddenly broke as she talked about the time Sam was suddenly hospitalized for exhaustion. It was that moment that awakened something important in her. If I hadn't come that day, I might never have had the chance to tell him that. I never stopped loving him. That meeting at the hospital, no cameras, no press, no lights, was the first time in years that they had been alone together. We cried a lot, and I told him whether the world understands or not, I'm going to tell the truth. So Caitriona agreed to this interview, against the advice of her manager, against the objections of the Outlander crew. She smiled softly and said, Sam is supportive. For the first time in years, we're not scared anymore. For now, they're still undecided about what lies ahead, whether they'll get back together or remain soulmates. But one thing's for sure, they're no longer living in the dark. As soon as the interview video aired, social media exploded. The keywords Chakin Caitriona and Sam, Ejom real life, Jamie and Claire, Outlander true love quickly climbed to the top of the trending list. Emotional fans reshared each old scene with a completely different perspective, because now they know the feelings are real. Stars like Priyanka Chopra, Reese Witherspoon, and even director Ronald D. Moore congratulated Caitriona for her courage. But the ultimate question remains. Why now? Why choose this moment to say it all? Caitriona looked into the camera, her eyes determined, because I don't want to live my life in silence. If one day the person I love is no longer here, a chilling truth, a hidden love, and a decision that left the whole world speechless. The next day, Hollywood seemed strangely quiet. No new rumours, no new scandals, no usual headline grabbing. Instead, there was a rare silence, as if the world was taking a moment to reflect on something that had always existed, but was only now being named. On his personal page, Sam Hugan didn't write much, just a photo, a handshake, no face. But the sunset light shining through those fingers made millions of hearts stop. It was a gentle confirmation that everything Caitriona said the day before was true. No words, no explanation, but the audience understood there are things that don't need to be said. In a behind-the-scenes video recorded in 2018, once forgotten in the archives, people saw Sam and Caitriona sitting next to each other in the dressing room. No script, no acting. Just two people smiling silently in the mirror, one fixing the other's hair, a gentle glance at each other. At the time, no one paid attention, but now every little gesture has become proof of a love that has never faded. The producers of Outlander later spoke up, not to refute, but to admit. They said, there were things we were afraid would ruin the character's image, but now we realize the truth doesn't destroy anything. It makes everything more alive. On social media, thousands of viewers wrote to Caitriona, thank you for daring to tell the truth. I used to think you were Claire, but now I see you as yourself, and that's even more wonderful. The love between you and Sam doesn't need to be defined. It just needs to be lived. A special letter from an older fan in Ireland reads, I lost my partner 30 years ago. We couldn't go public all our lives because of social constraints, but thanks to you, I know not all love needs to have a happy ending. Just being honest about it, that's a victory. In a later interview, Caitriona was asked again, if you could go back in time, would you choose to go public sooner? She was silent for a long time, then she smiled slightly. No, because our love is not to show off, but to exist. We don't live in regret, we live in truth. Love, people often think it has to be romantic. Public have a wedding, a promise, or a happy ending. But the story of Sam and Caitriona is a reminder that love can exist in many forms. Sometimes it's a quiet hug behind the scenes. Sometimes it's a letter that's never sent. Sometimes it's a silent look in the crowd. And sometimes it's a lifetime, not calling each other lovers, but still present in every breath. At the end of that year, at a small event, Sam and Caitriona appeared together. Not as co-stars, not as lovers. Just two people walking together. No excitement, no cameras following, but everyone could see clearly. Between them, there was a bond that transcended time, fame, and silence. A young journalist standing from afar wrote this on his personal blog. They are not Jamie and Claire in real life. They are Sam and Caitriona, two people who chose to love each other by being silent, preserving and accepting loss so as not to lose themselves. And you, the person watching this video, can believe it or not. You can expect a fairy tale ending or feel disappointed that they didn't come back together completely. But no matter what, you can't deny that love is never fake. It doesn't need to be noisy. It doesn't need to be public. It just needs to live, truly and completely, in the hearts of two people who chose each other, even though they can't have each other. Thank you for following this story. If you find it touching, please leave a comment for Caitriona and Sam. Sometimes your words of encouragement can reach someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe to the channel to continue following real stories, more beautiful than movies.